first thing I want to say about relationships is that you've got to be intentional about getting around the right people. If the people that are around you right now are dragging you down, you got to get new people around you so that they can support you instead and challenge you. You can't really have an excuse for any of this. If you don't know and you don't have people that are immediately around you that are supporting you, you don't know who to tap into, you got to start being creative. There's a lot of things you can do. The world is digital out there, and there are lots of places where you can get guidance as if you were talking with people who have long since left this world. I forgot exactly who it was. I think it was Napoleon Hill in one of his books, who was also passed and is no longer with us for the last almost 100 years. But he mentioned that he listened or read biographies of incredible people before his time. You know, George Washington and, you know, people in the past that he looked up to, and Napoleon and things like that, right? And what he envisioned was he had, let's say, a problem or some sort of issue in one of his businesses or in his life. He was at a fork in the road, and he didn't know where to go. Because he had listened to so many, or he had read so many biographies of these great people, he understood approximately what these people's personalities were. And so when he went to bed each night with this problem, he pictured in his head, with a visualization exercise, him sitting at a table with all of these great people, the spirits of all of these fantastic people at a round table. And he would bring the problem out on the table and listen to what his subconscious mind said that each one of these people would say at the table to help solve that problem from all those different perspectives. I think that is awesome advice, and I've used it once or twice before, and it's helped me get to some incredible breakthroughs. So being intentional about getting around the right people. Maybe you don't have them. Maybe there's family members that bring you down, and sometimes it's impossible to really escape those relationships. But I would encourage you to highly look at distancing yourself from them if you need to. It's a hard thing to do. I'm not saying to sever the relationship, but maybe start to look at it from a different perspective and instead choose proactively who you want to be engaging with, because there are things called mirror neurons in our heads. And as mirror neurons work, people interact with each other, and we start to take on the energy of the person that we're interacting with. That may sound like nonsense to you, but if you do this every single day, right? If you take yourself, and let's say that you are based in the US and you decide to move to Japan, or you decide to move to Germany, or decide to move to Italy or something, or Greece, do you think that you're going to still have American values over the next 5 to 10 years? Most likely your personality is going to change a little bit because the culture and the people that you're surrounded around, right? So to some degree, we pick up on that energy. And if you compound that energy over many years, it's a big deal. So you got to surround yourself around the right people so that you can start having that compound effect work for you in a positive way. And you can be creative with this by listening to podcasts or reading biographies of incredible people, or reading great books that are inspiring and positive, right? And drawing energy from that and spending time relating with that. So your mirror neurons are going to that specific content rather than working with someone who may be toxic or hurting you in the long run without even knowing, even if they aren't unconscious of it. But eventually at some point you have to make a stand, and you have to decide for yourself that this is not a healthy thing for you to do. Point number 2 is that you are the 5 people that you hang out with the most. I should say you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So as I said before, you need people around you who can challenge you and inspire you and lift you up when you have problems. If you hang around 5 people every day who were millionaires, right? And they were helpful and truly wanting to, because that's how they became millionaires, is that they trust other people. They want to solve problems. They like challenges. They're curious people. If you find yourself in a network like that, guess where you're going to be soon? You're going to be in that level. I'm not saying that you're going to be able to do that instantly. There are avenues, right? Like you can meet some people at meetups and try to get, a little bit closer to them or understand like what makes them tick, try to add value to them first and try to get more time with them so you can understand their mindset more. Listen to things that they listen to, read the things that they read, and try to build yourself up to a person that would fit in with that type of person. And then all these other things will start coming in alongside of it, right? It's kind of like this peer pressure thing, because if you are with these 5 people, right, and your spouse is your biggest person, right? Obviously, if your spouse is high level minded, you two are going to be at a similar level. That's just the way that it is. Mentally, because you spend so much time together and you've committed to them, most likely you're going to be growing together or not growing together, basically, or stagnating together. And so the best relationships are the ones where you challenge each other and you're positive with one another and you're trying to bounce ideas around and you're supportive, right? Fitting in and peer pressure, that's a genetic need.